Hey guys, I know a lot of people have had pretty strong thoughts, I guess, about the recent changes, but I think this is leading up to Season 9 being the best season we have had in a long time. A lot of people will talk about the glory days back from Season 3 to Season 4, where you could actually carry the game yourself. A lot of old-timers and pros will talk about it, but we're actually getting kind of back to that. So what I want to do today is kind of explain why the game is better, in my opinion, why we're going to move into a really solid meta, I think, especially after a few more changes that are coming like next patch. And then I want to talk about Season 9 rank changes, because the game is going to be changing. The whole rank system is being overhauled and updated, but I think they're actually really good changes. So for the game right now, games are a lot faster. This is because of a lot of different reasons, but basically you're going to go into game, you're going to actually be able to win the lane phase and win the game after that. The first thing we really had that was kind of leading up to this would be the crab change a long time ago, way more gold and experience. And yes, it is kind of a jungle change, but it impacts the entire game. It's going to cause a lot more early fights, so the junglers are obviously going to fight over it, but then the lanes get involved afterwards. You get 2 or 3 kills, and those kills are going to mean a lot more. So that is more jungle action, more ganks, more fights, more roaming from lanes to actually fight as well for that crab, and then bigger leads for the team who can actually control it and kind of move their lead forward. Rift Herald also does way more damage, and it gives a bigger lead now, which is why when you take this thing, you put it down, you're probably going to get like 2 or more towers pretty easily, a lot more gold, and the game feels a lot faster. It's basically just much better at taking multiple towers in a row. That is the biggest part. Like, yes, it does more damage anyway, but the damage doesn't fall off as hard with the lower health that the Rift Herald gets. As I said, getting like 2 or more towers and an inhib and stuff from Rift Herald is not that difficult compared to before, and obviously that's a massive lead now that you can get that you wouldn't have had before. Especially as well, now the inhib turrets have a little bit less health, so it can actually get through it even faster. Baron also does a lot less damage. It's easier to take. It's funny because they actually changed it to be more difficult, more rewarding, but it was just like way too hard. You don't need a massive tank to be able to do this anymore. So compositions are much more aggressive because you don't need to have that front line. You can take it a lot earlier. You can even bait fights a lot easier because you're not taking as much damage. You can even get it more after very close like team fight wins, right? Where it's kind of like you only just won, but before you would have had the base, and now you can actually take Baron pretty easily. You're going to then use that buff to unlock the rest of the game. Take towers, kind of open up the map a bit more, get even more gold, and then you take that gold lead and you're able to win. That is the entire point of Baron buff anyway. There is also a lot more gold put back into the player doing well, not the player's team. So this is where the solo carry kind of aspect comes out of, and you're going to feel like you're actually doing the work like yourself. It's not just your team that's going to be good, it's you playing well. Turret gold was changed. Bounty gold was changed as well to be more for the player that got the kill rather than like the team that kind of helped to shut them down. And it is actually a ton now as well. That is partially what actually lets teams come back into the game a bit more. Like if you outplay somebody who's really fed, you're going to get way more gold from it and kind of come back into the game, which is pretty good. But you're also going to be getting more gold from like cannon minions, more gold from the crabs as well, and that stuff does actually add up. As weird as it sounds, it does really help. The massive thing really recently obviously was the bot lane changes, right? Making AD carries weaker early game. This is why we have mages, we have bruisers, we have practically anything, even double supports. The thing is, this gives junglers and solo laners more room to carry themselves, which is why we've gone to a really aggressive meta, because if they get ahead, they can actually deal with the AD carry and they can like win the game. The changes also made bot lane way more about fighting, so one lane is probably going to come out ahead now rather than just be kind of like farming AFK, which by the way was really boring, where you just sit there and farm for 20 minutes. You have less health regen now, you have more action, you have ignite buffs, heal nerfs as well, but you can really actually entirely ignore bot lane and win the game as well, which you couldn't do before. The new AD carry items also make them weaker at like 1 to 2 items, but stronger later if you ever get to that point. Now I personally love this, and I know I'm an AD carry main, I might sound a bit crazy, but I don't want the whole game decided on me. For a start, I don't want to have to rely on my support as much. I don't want 4-man ganks every single game. Let other people carry. Let like mid lane or jungle do it, or top lane. Like as long as I do still have a chance to carry if I play well, I think that's actually healthy for the game. There are a lot more champions being played. We have pretty fun games, pretty fast games, and with Season 9, I actually think that's going to be even better with all of these changes. So as I said, Season 9 is going to be completely different. The whole rank system is going to be overhauled. Now, we did a video on this a little while ago when they first announced it, but they have updated it now as well, so kind of want to fill you guys in. I want to talk about how it's going to work after the update, but the main thing that you have to know right now is you're going to have a positional rank for every different position. So you'll have an individual rank for like top lane, for jungle, for mid, for AD carry, and for support. That's what you have to know about the new rank season for these to make sense. So one of the things that I said was going to be a massive problem is that people won't take games very seriously, because if they're trying to climb as AD carry and that's their main rank, their highest rank, if they get auto-filled to support or something, then they could just lose that game and it doesn't really matter. But now wins and losses in ranked will splash LP to all other positions. So splashing is going to like start around like 6 or like 3, something like that, and then it becomes stronger when you win auto-fill games, or if it looks like you're not taking opposition games very seriously. So there is an opportunity for you to splash higher if you actually try and you do well, and if you start to troll, you're going to be splashing a lot less and actually be punished for it. So at the end of each game, you're going to be splashing some LP to your other positions based on your normal gains, so your normal LP gains and losses for that position that is being splashed to. I'm going to use one of the examples that they give us in this little post they did. So if you're a mid lane main and you get auto-filled over to support, you normally get plus 20 for your mid lane. If you actually win it, then you're going to get plus 20 for the support, plus 10 for your mid lane, and then plus 6 for your top for your jungle. So basically, as you can see, even though you didn't get your main role, you still won half as much as you would have anyway. So you're still climbing in your main position, even though you're not actually playing it, if that makes sense. This is why it's not going to be as grindy and it's not going to take as long. Like, they're all kind of linked together. Like, they're not individual. The other example is if you're trying to actually play something brand new, or you're trying to troll around. So maybe you're like the same mid player, you're on a losing streak, you're trying to climb in the top lane instead. The strength of the splashing is going to be determined by the number of losses in your past few games. So at first you're going to splash, as you can see, like maybe -3, -6, -10, up to -15 if you're really trolling around. This is one of the things I actually really like about this, why I think it's going to be better, because if you troll around, you mess around, you are going to be really punished for it. The other thing is, if you're going to be queuing up with a gold 1 MMR for your mid lane, for example, and a silver 4 one for your jungle, obviously if you swap around roles and stuff, it'll be a massive advantage to your team and kind of unfair for the enemy team. Now they're going to say though that the MMRs for all your positions are linked together, and occasional swapping is going to be fine, but if you actually swap all the time, it's going to tighten your MMR between all of them, meaning you'll get matched in harder games when playing off positions, and you'll again be punished for it. Sticking with that previous example, right, you're a mid lane main. If you decide to play a new position and stuff, it will try and work out where it thinks you're going to be. You'll start off a little bit lower. So if you are a gold 4, for example, mid lane main, you might become a silver 4 jungle main when you start your placements. That will be absolutely fine, right? That's how it's supposed to work. But if you're doing this as a duo, for example, one of the things I said before actually was if you're a duo, you could just swap all the time and you could abuse it, and you could get your positions at a lower rank, making the games a lot easier. Riot is going to put in a system though that detects this after just a couple of games, and then they'll be able to punish those players really hard and tighten their MMR. So even if you are a really good like mid lane player, for example, you're gold 1 or something, but you're a silver 5 bot lane player, if you get AD carry, if you get bot lane, you will play at gold 1 as a punishment. Finally, into the last point, and one of the biggest things that I said before is that ranked is going to be too grindy. I don't have the time. A lot of people don't have the time to level up 5 or rank up 5 different roles during a season. So they're going to be softening the ranked reset, so most players will have a higher rank at the very start of the season after their provisional games. When playing off positions as well, you're going to have this LP splashing, which we've already talked about a little bit, increased LP gains and decreased losses, and promo helper for every single series. If you're in Diamond, you probably won't know what that is, but I'll explain it in a second, which means you're going to get promoted way quicker. So if you're only going to play one role, if you are this mid laner we've been talking about for the entire video, then if you're like gold 1, for example, you might go down to gold 5 with a normal rank reset. You might only be gold 3. So it won't take you as long anymore to rank up again, because the first little reset after the new season will be a lot softer. Obviously, that actually makes games easier because you're going to be climbing up faster. You'll be starting a little bit higher than before. So with the new system, you'll actually get to your previous rank faster, and then you'll be able to climb a little bit easier past that. If you're the type of player who plays 2 or 3 different positions, then you're going to have larger LP gains when playing off positions, so you can rank them all up at the same time. And they're extending promo series helper to all series for off positions below your main rank. This is a thing where if you've gone into it and you've lost, you will get 1 win guaranteed the next time you go into it. So you only have to win 1 out of those 2 games to actually get promoted. One thing they actually mentioned about this is you kind of still have like a main rank, right? Like one of your 3 positions is still going to be the highest one, but that's actually going to be increased even more by playing the oppositions, because the splashing will be better. So even if you main mid but you're playing jungle and it's kind of like similar, you'll get a lot of that LP splashed over to the mid lane as well. Very quickly, I'm going to run down like the season 9 changes in a nutshell. If you've already seen the other video or you know about this, you don't have to watch this part. Thank you for watching the rest. Hope you found it interesting, but I'm just going to quickly update you on how it's actually going to be in Season 9. So placement games will be a bit different. You get a rank after just one game, but only you are going to be able to see it. You actually can't lose LP though in your placement games anymore. You can get a big chunk of LP when you win though, which is really nice. And after 10 games, you'll get a rank that everybody can see. The one we touched on before that you had to know to understand the rest of it was your unique rank, right? Different rank for each role. Matchmaking will adjust though based on which role you're playing at that time. And it's still going to be the same queue system. So you pick a primary, which you should get most of the time, and then a secondary. And autofill and stuff like that will still be enabled. There are going to be 2 new tiers added to the game as well. Most likely above diamond. It could be between plat and diamond, but I doubt it. I think it will be above diamond, and also between bronze and silver. No idea what they're going to call them, but there will be 2 new tiers added into the game to make the climb a little bit more fun. Because there's going to be 2 more as well, there will only be 4 divisions per tier now. So you don't have to go from gold 5 to gold 4 every single time. You skip one of them, you would go from gold 4 to gold 1 basically. So it'll be divided into 3 parts. Ranks will not reset between the 3 parts, but it will afterwards at the end of a season. You will get rewards though based on performance in each split as well as over the entire season. So it's just like kind of like mini goals in between the entire season to give you something to aim for. Rank borders as well will no longer reflect last season, but they will reflect this season performance. So it updates based on your current rank and not your previous season rank. That's pretty much how it's going to be different. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video filling you in. This is honestly why I think like the Season 9 is going to be the best season for League we've had in a long time. I think the game is going to be a lot more fun. I just kind of hope it's not going to be too late. Thanks for watching the video though. I appreciate it. And for now, I will leave you with the robots.